Most people know the movie. They've seen the sweat, the blood, and heard the bone-crunching sounds of Muay Thai in a Thai prison. They know Joe Cole's face, but they don't know the man who actually bled on those concrete floors. Billy Moore isn't just a character. He is a survivor of a 50-year war with himself. From the broken council estates of Liverpool to the stinking, overcrowded cells of the Bangkok Hilton, and eventually to the red carpets of the Cannes Film Festival while he was secretly headed back to a British jail cell. Billy's life is a jagged, bloody circle. To understand Billy, you have to understand that his story isn't a straight line from bad to good. It's a story about the snakes and ladders nature of addiction. It's about a man who had to die a dozen times just to finally start living. This is the unvarnished truth of a man who was once a stuntman for Sylvester Stallone and a prisoner for the King of Thailand. It starts in 1973. Liverpool. Billy wasn't born a criminal. He was born into a landscape of survival. He grew up doting on his mother but living in the shadow of a drunken, violent father. He watched his mother take beatings, and at school, he was the target of bullies. But Billy learned quickly that if you can't beat the bullies, you become the biggest one. By his teenage years, he had joined the very groups that terrorized him. By 16, he wasn't just a kid from the estate. He was a prolific burglar and a car thief. He used his fists to feel a sense of power that his home life denied him. But the real enemy wasn't the police or the rival firms. It was the chemical escape. Heroin and crack cocaine became his masters before he was even old enough to vote. He described himself during these years as peddling the same old lies. Between the ages of 17 and 30, Billy Moore became a ghost in the British justice system. He served over 20 different sentences in various institutions, including Hump Walton. He was trapped in the revolving door, get out, get high, commit a crime to fund the hit, get caught, and repeat. He once said that during this time, he wasn't a person, he was just a vessel for a habit. He knew he was going to die in a gutter in Merseyside unless he vanished. In 2005, Billy fled. He chose Thailand, thinking the distance would kill the addiction. For a while, it worked. He taught English and trained as a Muay Thai fighter. He even landed a job as a stuntman on Rambo IV, working alongside Sylvester Stallone. For the first time, Billy Moore was a somebody for the right reasons. But an addict carries their demons in their luggage. In the backstreets of Chiang Mai, Billy tried Ya Ba, madness medicine, a potent form of meth. Within weeks, the Hollywood stuntman was a junkie again. He was arrested for possession of a firearm and drug offenses. He was thrown into Klong Prem prison. If UK prisons were tough, Klong Prem was an ancient circle of hell. On his first night, he was pushed into a cell with 70 men. There were no beds. He had to sleep on a concrete floor, shoulder to shoulder with strangers. During that first night, he woke up to realize the man next to him had died, and no one cared. The conditions inside Klong Prem were designed to break the human spirit. Billy witnessed things that still wake him up screaming: routine stabbings over a bowl of rice, sexual violence as a form of currency, and the slow, visible decay of inmates dying from AIDS and untreated TB. He was the Farang, the foreigner, a walking target in a place where life was cheaper than a cigarette. He reached a point of total psychological collapse, living in a haze of fear and residual drug cravings. He realized he had two choices: find a reason to live or find a way to end it. He went back to the only language he truly spoke: violence. But this time, he gave it structure. He joined the prison's Muay Thai team. In that ring, he wasn't a drug addict. He was a warrior. The discipline of the sport gave him back his soul. He found a wall of human community among the elite boxers who sat with him and broke bread with him. His success eventually led to a royal pardon from the King of Thailand. He returned to the UK in 2010. He was a survivor. He wrote his story, A Prayer Before Dawn, and it became a global sensation. In 2017, he was at the Cannes Film Festival. Imagine the scene. A man who slept next to corpses in Bangkok is now wearing a tuxedo, standing on a stage while the elite of Hollywood give him a standing ovation. But here is the detail that defines the tragedy of addiction. At the very moment the world was celebrating his triumph, Billy was relapsing. The pressure of the spotlight triggered the old hunger. He felt like a fraud, a man being praised for a life he was still trying to escape. While the world was watching Joe Cole play Billy Moore on the big screen, the real Billy Moore was breaking into a house to fund a hit. He was arrested and sent back to Hemp Walton under the 3 strikes rule. He spent the premiere of his own life story locked in a cell, right back where he started 30 years earlier. This should have been the end. A sad footnote about a man who couldn't handle the light. But Billy Moore has a habit of surviving. Upon his release from his final UK stint, he faced a new enemy: stage 4 cancer. Doctors found a tumor in his neck and told him his chances were slim. He had lost his job, his money, and for a moment, his hope. Billy approached chemotherapy like a training camp. He sat in those hospital chairs with the same grim determination he had in the Thai boxing ring. He fought the cancer into remission. Today, in 2026, Billy is finally standing on solid ground. He isn't just sober. He is a beacon of radical honesty. He works with anti-knife crime initiatives in Liverpool, going into schools and community centers. He doesn't show kids the movie. He shows them his soul. He shows them the scars, the physical ones from the ring and the invisible ones from the needle. He tells them that prison isn't a badge of honor. It's a warehouse for the broken and the forgotten. He hosts a podcast where he lets other survivors tell their stories, providing a platform for the voices that society usually ignores. He writes books like Fighting for My Life that dive into the why of his pain, not just the what. He doesn't call himself a hero. He calls himself a work in progress. He spent 22 years of his life behind bars to learn one final lesson: that the most dangerous prison on earth isn't made of stone, iron, or Thai concrete. It's the one you build for yourself, and you're the only one with the key. Every day he wakes up, he has to choose to stay outside those bars. And every day, he chooses to fight.